Welcome back to another football preview. I'm Andy Huling, joined by Delaney, Baro, and we're going to get into the big topics on tomorrow's game between Auburn and Ole Miss. So Delaney, let's start out with some news that broke this week as quarterback Joey Gatewood has left the Auburn program, announced it on Tuesday to Coach Malzahn, and was released on Wednesday as he will now enter the transfer portal and look for another team for next year's season. So what is your initial reaction to Gatewood's leaving?
Well, there's not much depth behind freshman quarterback Bo Nix. They do have Cord Sandberg, who is a 26-year-old freshman, but there's always the potential to look at Jatarvius Whitlow or DJ Williams in Wildcat options if Nix were to get injured.
Yes, and for sure, Cord Sandberg not being an experienced quarterback does add some hurt to the Tigers, but he will have to step up now as he's now the quarterback behind Bo Nix. So now let's get into the Ole Miss side as they have a quarterback who is transferred, Grant Tisdale. So now you've got two teams who maybe are in a little bit of a rut as players are leaving, a lot of frustrations. What kind of game are you expecting between these two teams who really need a win?
I think that it'll be an exciting game. I think that Auburn is looking forward to being back in Jordan-Hare for the first time in a month, and I think that Ole Miss is really looking for a win as their record is not off to the best start.
Yeah, a 3-5 record, not good for the Ole Miss Rebels as Matt Luke is looking to try to turn around their program. He's been there for a few years now after Hugh Freeze left with the allegations against him. So Ole Miss has been in a rut as of late, but hopefully for them that they'll try to get bowl eligible, but a win against Auburn would be desperately needed. So now let's talk about the offensive side of the ball. Not a good game again on the road against LSU. What do they need to do to make sure that tomorrow is a win for them?
I think that both of Auburn's losses came in stadiums where noise was a huge factor, and Auburn's quarterback will definitely be more comfortable back in Jordan-Hare. So I'm expecting a big game from him.
Yeah, and Bo Nix is had a lot of talk this week on him. This will be a huge game for him to just kind of silence everyone in the program who's had frustrations with Coach Malzahn and for him and his struggles. So look for him to really try to come out and prove a point. Obviously, being back at home is a big factor. Jordan-Hare, Auburn actually there's a 90-point differential when Auburn plays at home against teams. So that's a big factor that Auburn's home field advantage can come to play and will serve them well as games like Georgia and Alabama are at home down the stretch of the season. So now let's go into defensive side of the ball. They've still been really dominant, and they're facing a quarterback who's had 2 years in the system for Ole Miss. What does the defense need to do to just keep on the pressure for Ole Miss and turn the ball over?
Well, for Ole Miss, no other SEC team has allowed more tackles for loss, and for Auburn, no SEC team has had more tackles for loss. So I think the Auburn defense will definitely look to carry the game again.
And Derek Brown now is up for huge national awards, including the Maxwell Award, which is not an award for a defensive player, but he's been added into the semifinal list for that. So big accomplishments for him. Also, Marlon Davidson has won 3 SEC Defensive Player of the Weeks now. So big moves for Auburn's 2 best defensive linemen, and this defense as a whole has been really shut down. So now let's go into a player to look for. Who is your player to watch out for?
My player to watch this week is Auburn's tailback, DJ Williams. Currently, he's looking like a perfect SEC tailback as he accounted for over half of Auburn's offense last week in the tough loss against LSU.
Yeah, and DJ had a really breakout performance, 130 yards rushing. Can't ask for more. My player to watch for is Bo Nix. Bo Nix, like I said, is trying to silence the haters after this week, and look for him to have a big showing as this offense looks to just kind of get back to the basics, find high percentage plays, and not make crucial mistakes that they made on the road. And now Bo is coming back home where he can feel more comfortable. Look for him to have a big game on Saturday. So now let's get into predictions. Delaney, how do you see this game?
I think Auburn's going to walk out with a victory. I think that they'll have a comfortable lead, probably 2 touchdowns.
Oh yeah, for sure. The spread right now is 19.5 for Auburn. I believe that Auburn will cover that and will win very comfortably. Defense will come to play as always, and this freshman Ole Miss team will lose another game. Now, also this weekend is the return of Auburn basketball. So tonight Auburn plays Eckerd in their first exhibition game, which will be at 8:30, approximately 8:30, as Auburn volleyball will play beforehand. Students are able to get in at 5 o'clock for the volleyball game and will be allowed to stay until the tip-off, which will be 30 minutes after the volleyball game. So if you're planning to get to Auburn Arena, make sure that you look at the times and just see when you can get in. So let's talk about basketball for a second. Coming off this Final Four appearance for the first time in school history, Bruce Pearl has got a lot of excitement around this program. And they've lost guys like Bryce Brown, Chumo Kiki, Jared Harper, who have been the central leaders of this team. But our new recruiting class, new faces on the team, what do you see this season shaping up for Auburn basketball? Is it yet to be seen, or do you have any expectations for them?
I think they have a lot of potential after a 30-10 campaign last year and winning the SEC tournament, making it to the NCAA Midwest Regionals, and there's going to be a lot of new faces as they look to replace those 5 starters last year, but I think that there's definitely a lot of potential for another successful season.
Yeah, and Austin Wiley and Anthony McLemore returning. Also, D'Angelo Purefoy, Javon McCormick, some of those guys who were experienced in there. You can't forget about Samir Dowdy, as he had the controversial foul against Kyle Guy for Virginia. So he'll be looking to redeem his season. And these guys are a good bunch. They've got a lot of seniors, but a lot of new guys. So we'll be looking forward tonight as Auburn faces off against Eckerd. And you can catch the coverage on Eagle Eye TV after the game with post-game from myself and Larkin Carden. So I'll be looking forward for that. So that's going to be all for our football preview. Hope to see you guys next week.